I'm your host, Rob. Welcome
How
to
long have we been on the air?
The payoff is phenomenal.
The payoff was phenomenal. That worked
Just
really
like
well.
this show every week. Every week.
Every week.
Wow.
Welcome to the 40k adjacent show. I'm joined by Val and Pete, part of a country which I don't think many people know. This actually has the largest amount of coastlines in the world. Being up on my
Seven
Canadian
of them.
facts. Yeah.
Seven coastlines.
That's a lot of coastlines.
I think.
We were also, at the end of the Second World War, third largest navy on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
It's
Yeah,
true.
there was Old Navy, Russia, and us.
Although we only had 2 ships larger than a destroyer, but I'd say it still counts.
But I mean, our polo shirt's way better.
So good.
Way better.
Collar's been popping since 45.
Let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us live. Apologies for being late. I was supporting some damn kids, in a college class. Some kids.
Taking over tombstones.
These damn kids. That's what I was saying. Welcome to the show. Pete, how you been? You okay?
I'm great. I'm working on like an hour's sleep. Life couldn't be better, man. Couldn't be better. How about you? How are you? We really rarely ask how Rob Symes, everyone, one of the best hosts in the history of Warhammer, how he's doing. How are you doing?
Big time host.
Don't need this. Good. Confused. I've just been all morning. So the thing I've been doing is there is a local technical college called Confetti. They're super cool. They've got loads of they do loads of industry stuff for kids wanting to get into graphic design or video effects or live streaming or anything like that. So they're super cool. And they asked me to do this this thing. So there's some kids going through and teach designing some games, and I've got to be a judge at the end of it and providing support through it. But I'm just listening to them, and I'm like, okay, sweet. And they're like, maybe we'll get some upgrades. And I'm like, you're on a time, lads. How are you going to market this? This one, I want less time on game design and more time on marketing. That's what I want. I'm hearing none of that conversation. Yeah, none of it. Yeah, I'm like, that doesn't work. No one's going to want to play that. Come on.
I love that you immediately just sell out all of your principles and go straight to hardcore capitalist the second that you're in the Shark Tank environment.
Well, yeah. I mean, he doesn't want to ruin these children's lives.
No. Yeah, crush their dreams so that way they can't be disappointed.
Yeah.
No.
That's how it works.
Makes sense.
So I'm honestly a little bit nervous about it at the minute. After this show, I go back into the team meetings. I'm in Microsoft Teams, never used that before. And I go back into these team meetings. And yeah, awful. Yeah, I did not like it.
Is it awful?
I don't like it.
I'm trying hard to integrate it into my
our company switched to it, and I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
Yeah. I keep telling myself it's like Slack.
It is like Slack, except worse.
It's attached to SharePoint though, and SharePoint's super useful.
Super useful.
Basically, it's a shell on top of SharePoint is what it is. That's how I talk myself into it.
I'd never used it, and I was like, and now I'm jumping in between rooms and I'm listening. Anyway, so that's what I've been doing, and it's fun. I've been excited about it all day. I thought I wasn't going to get to do it because I hadn't replied to an email, but then they messaged me, and that was nice. And then I'll let you know next week how it went. But so I'm going back to that later today. So it'll be a short show. Apologies to everyone, but it's been cool. I've never done anything like this before. Hopefully it leads to some more stuff. It'll be nice if Nottingham obviously is a hub already of kind of creative game design and creativity there's a little bit more that comes out of that. That'll be an interesting thing. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Thanks for asking, Pete. Val, how you been? You been well?
Well, I was good until I heard about how you were. And there's just too much information, man. TMI,
It's awful.
You're just so self-aggrandized,
Yeah.
It just bummed me out.
Yeah. Anybody else, you say,
raw
hey, how are you
ego.
doing? They say, good.
The raw ego.
Rob, it's a 45-minute story.
About how, look at this philanthropy I'm doing, helping children.
Yeah, at a school called
All I do
Confetti,
is
so
rob from
obviously
the
they're all poor. Yeah.
They're if you want me to really dig it in, they're actually doing the entire thing for a charity to help people with disabilities get into more games. So
That's nice.
If that's actually true, that's amazing.
It's
And
100%
if
true.
it's not true, that was a really good ad lib.
Super true. I'm going to link in the chat right now, a link to it all so you guys can go and check it out if you want.
The only
in a moment.
the only relevant the only time I ever contemplate like digital accessibility is when I accidentally press whatever the combination of keys on the keyboard are to bring up the Windows accessibility functions, and then if you press the wrong button, you accidentally turn them on at that point.
Yeah.
So really, it's just a point of frustration for me because I'm ableist.
All checks out. All checks out.
It does check out. Wow, we've all had a coffee this morning. That
Where
new
is
Bellicor model,
why?
eh? Pete,
Oh,
that new
wow.
Bellicor model. What are you thinking?
Oh,
Oh,
man.
moving
Val,
away
what do you
from
think?
Val already. No problem.
Who-
Cool. Pete, what you think about Bellicor?
Like anybody that doesn't think Bellicor is just like the most badass goddamn model, something wrong with them.
Do we not think? Okay, I agree. It's amazing, but maybe a little big. Like, is he getting? Have we jumped the Rubicon here?
They've said the size of a small rotisserie chicken,
Yes.
which made me hungry when I read it.
Costco for life.
So depending on what a British rotisserie chicken looks like, that's a pretty big guy.
God. Really,
Pretty big guy.
really anemic. I want you to know that. We
Yeah.
don't have a lot of space anyway. If you think battery farms in America with all of that space produces some very anemic chickens, English chickens are they're not healthy. Let's put it that way.
Damn English chickens.
Aren't English
Why aren't
chickens
you guys
just those
supporting
little
them for
ones?
charity?
What are the little chickens? Cornish hens. I always just assume
Cornish
that's what you guys
hens.
have.
Do you picture every one of us lives in some sort of parochial cottage
Yes.
with many a field? Yeah.
I imagine also whenever you guys eat any sort of fowl that you have to take the shotgun pellets out of your mouth because you haven't developed industrial techniques to murder chickens.
We actually, all of the grouse are endangered because they've been hunted so frequently over the past year.
Do you all still work in textiles? I need to know this. Is this all? Is that?
Where do you think he gets those shirts?
Okay.
No,
Do you work the looms?
stores.
This shirt.
Rob, do you work the looms between shows?
This is all we do. Did you know? Is that a reference to you knowing lots about Nottingham and it being actually a lace industry town?
Yes, I know everything about the lace industry, Rob.
Yeah, 100
Yeah.
piece. At 100
Nottingham is
piece, an
actually-
aficionado.
Nottingham is a famous
no,
grouse
Rob.
industry. Oh,
It's because everyone knows that England ruled the world based on indigo dye, which they used in their textile mills, which then functioned as fodder for their cultural imperialism through Charles Dickens novels.
is that true?
I don't know. I just made up a narrative. I just forged
You
it.
did. It's a good narrative, though.
I should get you.
You
into
should
these
be on that
teams.
show.
I should get you into the teams with the kids because
Listen, I know this guy, Paul
they're like, what if
Murphy.
they're like, what if we have a king? And I was like, a king? Bold strategy there, kids. And they're like, maybe we collect some sort of gold. And I was like, fucking Christ on a bike. Okay, what next? What next?
Now that's a game. Now that's a game. Christ on a bike. Think of the upgrades.
Think of the upgrades.
Make it
Think
like a
of the upgrades.
roguelite.
Which needs me. I'm going to jump straight in with a question. If you two had to design a game right now, let's go. I'm going to put you under the pressure tank these kids are under for 5 hours, but you guys get minimum 20 minutes. A 40k game, a game based in the 40k universe. Top of your head. Go.
Well, I'll tell you the game that immediately popped in my mind, which was a resource management game based on vaccinating large populations. That's what I came up with just now.
There you go.
Okay, so a Nurgle invasion. That's your story. Yeah,
Bam.
and you have to somehow inoculate everyone against the Nurgle invasion.
That's a Dan Abnett short story. It literally is. It's
Is that
exactly what happened. Yes, where there's a Nurgle. They don't know it's Nurgle at the time. But yeah, where there's dudes trying to inoculate people from this crazy disease on a planet. And then it turns out it was Nurgle all along, trying to inoculate them as well to give them a worse version of the virus. Bam, 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 bam.
Oh my God! So the COVID vaccinations are COVID.
Whoa. It was COVID all along.
Born again man child, if you think that's a $1 million idea, boom, made you a millionaire just now. Go nuts, man. Live your
Go
dream.
crazy.
Boom.
Go crazy.
Boom. Okay. All right. If Pete, are you jumping in on the same idea, or you got your own take on a game
No.
in the 40k universe?
I don't want to. 40K is old news, man. Old hat.
Yo.
Yeah.
Hold on. Before
Get
you
out of
segue
this.
away, legitimately, Gorka Morka license. I think that would be a sick game.
Or just Gorka Morka the game? Haven't you? That you can't invent someone else's invention.
No, but like you said, it was a 40K license, so I would take the concept of Gorka Morka. So, like, you guys remember Interstate 76? It was an amazing vehicle combat game from the late 90s.
No, is it like
No.
Gaslands?
Oh, it's hyper style. It was a lot like Gaslands, actually, but in video game form. But Interstate, like, watch a YouTube video of it. It's got the most. It's like really slick, stylized production. It was awesome in the day. Anywho, it's like Mech Warrior, but you're in like Barracudas and like Trans Ams. Yeah, you do that, but with like Gorka Morka, you could have like a little bit of like PvP, like in first-person combat and shooting off the back of trucks, or you could have like driving. You could make it multiplayer. You level up. You like get scrap. You have a nice open world. There's different places you can rip to in the desert. Boom, man, guys, who's writing this down? Who wants to make some money?
This is what every Tuesday should be. We just workshop new 40k games. Thanks to Tory Rob for donating £5 to the show. Appreciate you. Don't worry.
Good job.
Yeah, we will market. We will market this. I promise.
I think if I did a game, it would be like Heavy Rain style, or one of those Quantum or Quantic Dream games, set with the Inquisition. You play as like an Inquisitor, maybe parts of his retinue. You flip flop, and you try to investigate some pretty scary situations. You can do multiple missions. Because Warhammer is all about the story, and really those Quantic Dream games are basically you just kind of, playing through a movie. So I'd be into that. I'd do that.
The big company that did that recently was that Telltale Games, but I think they went out of business.
Yeah,
I think.
They did that for like a bunch of different like comic licenses. And they did go out of business, but I think they sold most of the rights to their stuff to other groups. Oh, Bronx, give it up.
Oh my God! Like, let's us three right now form a company that pitches to Games Workshop to do Telltale Games, but for 40k.
I'm into that.
Yeah,
I'm into that.
Right. So we got this good idea someone else came up with, and we're gonna do it with you. What do you think of that?
What do you think of that? And they'll be like, oh, nice. We'll license to basically anyone, it seems.
They will.
Any 40k license you want. Rubbish clothes, stupid hats. You got it.
Do you have money? Yes. No, actually, sorry. Misspoke there. We don't have any money.
Well, no, it's just a percent. You just walk into Games Workshop HQ with a contract and be like, we're willing to give you 15% of this idea we have. Can you put 40k on top? And they're like, no problem. Off you go.
So I've been talking a lot, but I'm going to talk some more. I had a bit of an embarrassing story from the last couple days.
Oh.
Remember how I was telling you about the old world Facebook forum? That I thought was
to be in
toxic
there.
and awful. I was really accidentally getting sucked into things, and I got into. Someone had posted this. Actually, it was a nice little piece of analysis. They took Sigismund, who's apparently a AOS miniature, and they looked at his local pricing across the world, and then converted it back to pounds. So he was like 34.50 in the UK pounds, and then he was like 90 pounds in Australia or something like that. And there's like this long thread about like why Japan, Australia, and these places had such an incredibly huge markup. And there's all these people talking about like supply chain difficulties and tariffs and like some very like high-minded like international trade stuff. And they're like, and there were some people who was like, it's currency conversion. And like they were like, no, it's not just currency conversion, you idiot. It's dumb. Of course not. There's reasons. There's costs of doing business. This is, and all these reasons. And I came in and like, actually, it is currency conversion because they set their prices in 2005, and then the pound dropped, and now they never lowered their prices. So now it's all 50% more expensive than it should be. And I got into an argument with the guy who actually set the prices in Japan in the 90s, and I felt like I felt like I was like that guy who was like arguing with like the insider about the stuff that they knew about, because he was going on about how like Games Workshop has like professionals who like set these things, and like they have like logistics experts and all this stuff. And I'm like, they probably do, and that's all true, but like this pricing strategy is is dumb. And then I ended it with, and also they're probably still using your spreadsheet from the 90s. And then he got kind of upset with me, and said that I had biases. And then I was like, maybe I do have biases. Maybe I am. Maybe I am too harsh. And it's
maybe
possible.
we all are biased.
I still think that they are pricing a really like a continent that would love to love Warhammer, like out of Warhammer. Like all their podcasters have PhDs. Like that's a sign that they need to lower the prices. Yeah, that's it. Ramble over.
No, I hear you. I hear you. You don't want to be the guy who's like, yeah, you don't know anything about how this coding works, and the guy's like, I wrote the code. You're like, oh no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Or anytime you see like Brant or Reese arguing with people about like a FAQ, and you're like, guys, stop arguing with them. Or like someone tells Pete he's dumb about the stats that he wrote or compiled. Yes, I did. I was that guy, but also like still feel like I was right.
So I thought I'd tell you both about a little Age of Sigmar invention that I thought that would be right up your street. Pete, specifically yours. I don't know if you've seen it online. Listbot. Have you seen what Listbot does? Have you heard about
Yes.
Listbot? Oh, you have?
Yes,
Nice.
Whoa! I accidentally read the chat, which I never do. What did you just say?
Okay, right, Listbot, real quick. You take your list from War Scroll Builder, which is how we build our lists, yeah?
Right.
You put it into Listbot, and Listbot gives you a rating on the list based on past performances of lists similar and units contained inside. It's an AI that's already trained itself on what units are good with loads of bias from the creator. Big shout out to JP, who loves the Gobblepalooza. And then
is it all racial bias?
Yeah, so there's a unit inside Age of Sigmar called the Gobblepalooza, which is a collection of small goblins that do nothing in the game, only they're pointed very low, so Listbot thinks that they're the most hyper-efficient thing in the world. It's kind of hilarious. Yeah, but anyway, it's a super cool website that does something really interesting, and I wondered if you guys thought that would be cool for 40k. Pete, you've already seen it, I think, to some degree. No, you're not into that at all.
No, I think it's dumb. I think that's the stupidest thing. Whoever this JP guy is, stop it. Get out.
Yeah,
Go do
Pete
something
knows
else
about
with your
AI.
life.
You know what Pete knows about? He knows about the old-fashioned eye, intelligence. That's what Pete's got. He's got gumption and just eye.
There's nothing artificial about this guy. Nothing artificial here. No artificial flavors. No artificial color.
Because 40k guys generally because Age of Sigmar has no stats, so it's weird. We've got an AI.
You got nothing.
Yeah, we have
results.
an AI that generates you rankings on your lists, but we don't have stats. And I just thought you guys have got stats. You might be more number interested than us, a purely narrative channel, which the Honest Wargamer is now.
Yep.
Are you being facetious? This is a callback to something.
No, this is true. I have seen the Age of Sigmar community. They are awful. They only play narrative events, as far as I can see.
All of them. Well, every single one of them.
They were born in a cauldron with no points.
What we'll do is we'll get a king, and then we'll maybe get some gold. And we've cracked it, lads. Let's go.
I know you were like. I mean, this sounds really cool. I would say I love it that there's like that nerds who can do stuff like, I don't know, machine learning. Also love 40k, and they're like, oh, I'm going to take this incredibly specialized knowledge that's on the bleeding edge of human existence, and I'm going to apply it to this tabletop game that doesn't deserve it. And it's great. I think it's fucking awesome. Hell, man, when someone makes a website about Warhammer, I'm like, wow, what a misuse of resources.
What?
Well, you know what I mean, right? Like, I mean, he could be building a script that's like, I don't know, mining social media to figure out who has cancer early. I don't know. You know, like it's stuff like that. You know, it's just
what
kind of
I'm
amazing
interested in is when the Amazon AI learns loads about me and understands the miniatures to want to sell to me.
Oh, yeah.
Mainly centaur ladies, but like sideline.
The rest of this interview will be centaur related.
Yeah, almost all of this will be centaur related. Because where is it located? Is the question I always ask myself.
Where are the centaur ladies, or where's the Amazon AI?
Where the
what are we
centaur
talking
ladies
about
at?
Where are they at in the chat? Get in.
Literally everywhere I go is centaur now. I don't know what's going on. Like,
get your hoofs up.
Like, I don't know. Like the Amazon AI, the Facebook AI, I think there's a bit of a problem with it lately. Either that or someone has hacked all my accounts because I've been getting a lot of endometriosis ads. I don't have that. But man, does it think I do, and it really wants to help me with it.
Wow.
Quick Google.
So,
Quick Google here.
like,
Is that like
is-
the yellow? Is that the yellow toenails thing?
No, Val, it's not. It's not. It's something that I am unable to get. But Facebook in particular is real big.
It affects 10% of our ladies. Bless them, bless their hearts forever.
Hey,
and it's
shout
true.
out International Women's Day.
Yep,
Shout
yesterday.
out all day. A long
Yesterday?
Facebook thread came up yesterday. Not Facebook thread, that's not what it is. A long Twitter thread came up yesterday very quickly about ladies and representation in the hobby on International Ladies' Day. To which, and I never get involved in the conversation. Never.
No, never. No.
Never. I just, no, I don't. I didn't. No, I'm being serious. No, I just don't get involved. I'm like someone's like, why don't you do? I'm like, fucking, if women want to come on, do your thing. Like, I'm an ally. Yeah, I'm not a savior. Live your life. That's what I say. But then, so I saw someone, and there was some fucking stupid statements like, women don't feel safe at Warhammer events. I'm like, they go to nightclubs, which are full of monsters. Like, that's the only way to describe them, having spent 20 years in a nightclub. That's it, yeah? And they'll also go to, like, mosh pit. You ever seen a woman in a mosh pit? I have. Dozens, yeah?
It's not great.
They're fine.
They're getting ragdolled.
So my point was, really quickly, anyway, there were some stupid comments being made, and I just put, cool. I own a venue. If a lady TO wants to run an event here for women only, it's free.
Yeah.
It's free. I'll support the event. You can use all the equipment. I will bar back the fuck out of a woman's only ran and a woman's that'll be my way of being an ally. Go crazy. Silence in the fucking comments. Silence. Like no, like I'm not making that effort. Anyway,
Rob, there's literally there was a woman TO or organizer. I want to say in Manchester. I can't even remember what podcast I heard her on, but she was. I think it was maybe it was on Paul Murphy's actually taking a shot at this.
Is this the podcast where the lady turned out to be the guy?
No, but that does happen a lot in 40K, which, by the way, all of your comments so far to me are damning indictments of the Warhammer community rather than the opposite, because you're right. Women, for some reason, feel safer in a room filled with rapists literally trying to drug them than at a Warhammer tournament. That is a problem our community has.
I don't think that's the case, though. My point was that I don't think in any way that the reason women don't go to Warhammer events is because they are unsafe.
Well, okay, maybe not physically unsafe in the in the sense that you are, but I think it's definitely uncomfortable, and I think that's just stuff that we have to get through and work out. But anyway, literally, this
true.
is something.
Because if they had you and Pete at every event, women would be flocking into the event.
We'd be set back 20 years. It's awful. It'd be. I can't. I just when I meet a female, I do that wolf thing where my jaw drops and my tongue falls out. It's awful.
If you two were at an event, they would go there. They'd be like, I have got a particular kink for a pair of 70s cops. That's what they think. Yeah, buddy cop movie. Yeah, with Val and Pete, which I would watch.
So I need to find out who this was and what Fever Dream podcast I was listening to, because there have been a few basically women in the hobby, and there have been some podcasters out there trying to at least, because there's really sad, it's a super minority. I mean, you see your YouTube stats; it's 1% of all.
Do I have YouTube stats?
You can. In YouTube you can dig. Well, you might have some stats. But in the various accounts that I've been able to look at, like Frontline Gaming, for example, I've seen some of the stats. It's like low single digits female viewers, right? So there's a thing that we have, and I do think that it would require us to actually take some active steps. And I think what you did is brilliant. And there is someone who's literally trying to do women only game nights. And I swear to God, it was in Manchester. My anecdote sucks. Maybe Chad has answered it already. No. Anyway. Sorry.
Audience. Here we go. Because I'm I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but I'm fucking hot. So if we're gonna get more percentage ladies, we're getting to the honest Wargamer.
You're a bit of a butterface, though. When I first
met you and you had that friggin' hipster haircut with the cut sides and the like ponytail, I was pretty sure you were like a Warhammer prostitute that had been paid by GW to be there, and that you just thought I was a huge loser. And so I don't know. I still think you're a plant of some kind.
Okay, we
Just
got to go
waiting
now
to stuff
because
me
I
into
got
a
to go
locker.
back. I've got to go back and support the kids. There's obviously a whole show that we could do on this. I'll leave this. Pete and Val. Pete, you're the numbers man. You get a chance to guess in the last 28 days the female percentage of viewers. Okay, Val, Twitch chat. Let's go.
I'm going 0.
Wow,
1.
that's
4.
rude. 1.4.
1.4.
Okay, see what the Twitch chat. Give them a minute. 69% obviously is the right decision.
That's a very good guess. Very good guess. 69%, much better.
Okay, the percentage is 0.1%. God damn it!
It's bad, man. It's super bad. Like, I mean, that's on us. I think if it's that bad, something we got to do.
What do I do?
I don't know, man. I got called out actually by I don't know. She's a badass woman who dates a friend of mine who's studies she does women's studies and is like a legit feminist. And I was actually talking about this issue, and she like literally looked me like put her knife and fork down, looked me cold in the eyes, like, "What are you doing about it?" And I was like, "Oh shit, man." I was like, she was like, you have a platform. What are you doing about it? And I was like, I don't know. So I don't like stay awake at night thinking about this, but I do think that there's no reason why we shouldn't have women who like to play tabletop games. It's kind of absurd that we don't have more people.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, Scary and Tanya Gates, the War Mistress, did a whole day of it. A Warhammer, a Women of Warhammer like stream event. That was really cool. I don't see why we can't start reaching out and making this a bigger thing. Sean Morgan's podcast. Oh, what's it called?
Yeah.
They did a whole episode, right, where they
That
brought
might
in
be it.
competitive because they had like Nell Byler and oh god, I can't remember. Like they had quite the little cast of 3 or 4 women that play competitively on. There's been some really good stuff, but it's few and far between. Just like these endometriosis ads that sparked this debate.
I think there's also there's a lot more women of Warhammer out there. But I think I don't know. The internet is such a fucking toxic place, especially like gamer. I feel like nerd culture and game culture can be really harsh on the women out there, and so I suspect they are out there. They're not watching shows I'm on or listening to them, but they're probably playing in gaming groups, and they're probably like trying not to get
DJ
shouted
for like a
down.
decade. I have an effect. I have an aura.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe they're not watching. Furious is what I am at the ladies now. All right, we got to go. We got to go. You guys are both beautiful people, and I'm sorry that this has been.
This was a lightning round.
I got to go. Twitch chat, peace and love. I'll go support the kids. See you guys next week. Next week will be our penultimate 40K Jason show before the year birthday of the 40K Jason show.
Is that next week or the week after?
So next week's the penultimate one. Year after is the
penultimate. I still don't know the definition of penultimate.
Penultimate is the second last.
Yeah,
cool.
see, maths.
I'm gonna get a nude colored onesie so that I can be in my birthday suit and not actually be naked.
Okay.